Support is now growing on Capitol Hill for a ban on Russian oil imports. Republicans and Democrats like Pelosi, Manchin, and even Bob Menendez are all on board. Watch.
Well, I support a full oil embargo, even though it would equate to about, if it's just the U.S. alone, about 4% of Russian sales globally. But I think it is an important step to make, and I think it is gaining traction. So I think we should stop Russian oil. Now, how the president chooses to meet the challenge of that percentage of Russian oil that equals the entire oil of the United States that it imports is a question for him to decide.
He's right. It's up to Joe Biden whether he's going to help Americans pump more of our own oil. Solution simple. You ban Russian oil and gas imports, you cripple their economy, and then you boost production of our own energy here at home. But the White House, they still won't budge. Biden happy to pay Russian blood money and sock Americans in the wallets. Today, Americans pay an average, you ready? $3.84 a gallon. Joining me now, House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy. All right, soon-to-be Speaker McCarthy, have you seen at these gas pumps, people have been slapping Joe Biden stickers next to the price and said, I did that? That's how bad things are getting. Is he going to change?
I don't know that he will change. You know, at the State of the Union, he said he was going to send oil from the Spro, but he didn't say from the American Spro. He's actually looking at Middle East.
Yeah.
And when Nancy Pelosi says she's for banning the oil from Russia, just this week, 220 Democrats voted to block that. We put a bill on the floor that would give us the pipeline. He's got 6 permits, President Biden, sitting at the Secretary of Energy for LNG to export out.
To our allies.
Yes. And he said no. And do you know, if you're concerned about the environment that you and I are, American natural gas is 42% cleaner than Russian natural gas.
And that's why our emissions are dropping, because of gas.
And remember what Pelosi said, though, too. She still wants to ban any drilling on federal land. The reason why America is in a bind is the actions by this president. He started banning. He closed a pipeline. He gave Putin a pipeline. How he pulled out of Afghanistan, that's why Ukraine is in the problem it is today.
Yeah, and he's begging OPEC to pump. But OPEC hates Joe Biden, so they're not really helping him out too much.
But what's worse today, I just sent a letter to Secretary Blinken about the Iran agreement, what I believe they're really trying to do. And why don't we know what's in it, but we have Russia and China knowing what's in it to bring Iranian oil back in. Why would you fund another country that funds terrorism, that wants to have a nuclear weapon, give it to them, and then give them billions of dollars?
So they're for Russian oil, they're for Iranian oil, they're for Saudi oil, but not American oil.
That's right. And you know what you get when you get American oil? It's cleaner, they're American jobs, and the world is safer. You're sending $22.7 million today to Russia that you just showed that are killing innocent people, creating a genocide just today from America.
We're reporting that Zelensky is going to have this huge Zoom call tomorrow with the Senate, and you know what's going to happen. I mean, he is going to be extremely persuasive. He's going to be emotional. He's going to say, I'm surrounded. We're dying here. Kids are getting slaughtered. And he's going to demand and he's going to beg for a no-fly zone. Are you seeing movement in your capital where people are going to start saying, you know what, maybe we send American fighter jets, maybe we enforce a no-fly zone? Because I'm feeling a little momentum. I've noticed it.
I don't think people jump directly to that. I mean, the real challenge here, 5 years ago, I was sitting in the White House in the Situation Room with Joe Biden as vice president, trying to talk them into sending the Stingers to Ukraine because I just came back from a trip there.
Really?
Train them and let them defend themselves.
When was that, by the way?
That was in the last years of their administration. And you know what else? Months ago, when the president was talking about standing up to Putin, I was on the phone and said, let them have weapons now so they can defend themselves. But he wanted to wait until Russia had invaded. What benefit is that? It's too late in the process.
He waited until, I believe, the day of the invasion.
And then he has a press conference and says, well, if Putin just takes a little bit of the country. He gave Putin all the missed signals and misreading of it. And if you watch Putin, remember this. This is the 100th anniversary of the creation of the Soviet Union. Putin wants to put the motherland back together. He's like a mafia boss. He's evil, right? And in that, he wants to put his lieutenants in charge. But you're pushing him back against the wall. If we had deterred him beforehand, we have seen time and again the bravery of those in Ukraine that will defend and fight themselves. The problems, they're fighting tanks with sticks.
Yeah. You got to give him more javelins. You got to give him more stingers. And I'd like some A-10s. Can you get some A-10s over there, please?
But if he learned today what we should do for the future, let Taiwan speed up the weapons for Taiwan to defend themselves as well.
We need another arms package to Taiwan.
But what is he talking about? He's working with China and Russia to bring Iran back into the world economy, give them billions of dollars, and give them a nuclear weapon.
Yep. But don't worry. Kamala's going over there soon. It's going to straighten everything out. All right,
She's
McCarthy.
been so good with our border.
McCarthy, thank you so much. Speaker McCarthy.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.